Did you know that the longest word in the English language has over 180,000 letters? Hey YouTube. Hi. Hey. Hello. Howdy. Yo. Sup? So, I kind of have a confession to make. It's not really a big deal. I mean, I just, it's sort of, you know, I have to tell you because, well, I kind of, I forgot about you. What? I forgot about him. Pardon? I forgot about you guys. What are you trying to say to me right now? I forgot about you guys, okay? I forgot that I had to make a video. I'm sorry. No, actually guys, I seriously forgot about doing Rant this week because I was really busy. I mean, I had a friend up from college that I was hanging out with quite a bit, and I was doing a lot of other things. I went to a concert last night, which by the way was awesome, and I'll put a link in the bar wherever it is beside me, below me, around me, or above me of the band that I went to see, so you can go check that out. I didn't bring the camera to do a visual vlog though, because filming a band on stage is really boring. Lots of people on YouTube do it, and it doesn't make a very good video because the rest of the room is dark, so all you'd be able to see would be the band. I wouldn't be able to film anything else. I could also get kicked out for trying to pull off some copyright thing or something, and I also forgot to bring the camera, so I just, yeah. So anyway, I had a busy week, didn't really think about what I was going to talk about today at all, and I got a bunch of new stuff for the camera, which is in a box over there right now, which I'm going to look at later. So I was thinking I was just going to spend the morning this morning opening all that stuff and packing it up into different bags so it's all organized and I have it ready whenever I'm filming bigger projects. And I'm thinking, yeah, it's going to be a nice relaxed morning tomorrow. And then at about 2:30 in the morning last night, I was like, random clown face. I kind of scrambled to figure out something to talk about, and I couldn't find anything last night, so I went to the good old moderator module on my channel, which you guys have actually been commenting on a lot, and there's a lot of good stuff there. Like I always say, every time I go back there for a day when I forget to talk about something or don't have anything to talk about, you guys always have like 100 more or 50 more whatever topics to talk about, so it's really awesome because I don't think we're ever going to run out of stuff to talk about if you guys keep that up. So thank you for commenting on the moderator module. It's very helpful. Kind of had a bit of a weird accent going there. Very, whatever that is. So I'm going on the moderator module and I'm looking through it and I'm trying to find something and I came across one word. Freedom. This topic was suggested by Kid Jr. 67 and he basically just wants us to talk about freedom and what each of us thinks freedom means to us, or however you want to word that. And not only did I think this was a good topic, I thought it was good in relation to what has recently happened over in Japan and in other parts of that area of the world with tsunamis and stuff. Because to some people, freedom could mean more than just having rights in your country. But we'll get into that in a second. So when I was trying to think about how to get this video started, I thought, what better way than to look up the definition of freedom in a dictionary? So I did, and it was kind of ridiculous. Basically, it just said that freedom is an act of being free, which is kind of like if you ask someone what they think Toronto means, and if they don't really know, they'll just say, well, it means to be a Toronto. You're not defining the word, you're just using the word in a sentence or saying what it means when you use that word as a person. It's not really showing what that word represents or what it means. But I looked at the definitions of freedom that were underneath and most of them basically just said the freedom of rights, the freedom to have certain laws and stuff like that. Which is true, freedom can be represented through having laws that say you have the right to do this, you have the right to do that, you have the right to freedom of speech, you have the right to believe what you want to believe. But I think freedom can mean so much more than that. I mean, yeah, politically, having freedom of speech, yeah, that's a big part of being free. But I mean, what about freedom of being able to move every muscle in your body? What about physical and mental freedom? What about people who have mental disabilities or physical disabilities? Because they don't have total freedom of their body. So what does freedom mean to them? And I know there's at least a couple of you here that watch that have some sort of mental or physical disability, so it'd be interesting to hear back from you guys. This is why I said this was related to Japan and stuff too, because there's the freedom of owning your own home, having your own possessions, and simply being able to just live is a freedom. Freedom from stress, freedom from physical disabilities, freedom from mental disabilities. These are all freedom. These are all things that when you think about it can really represent what it means to be free. According to your beliefs, freedom could mean freedom from sin or freedom from the enemy or whatever. Freedom has a lot more than just your right to freedom of speech or your right to believe what you want to believe. To me, freedom basically means to not have to worry or stress out about anything in your life. When you have come to the realization that nothing is really worth getting that worked up about, when it's gonna happen whether you want it to or not, and there's not a ton you can do about it, when you just have to ride the wave and go go with the way things are and see how it turns out in the end, and you're okay with that, to me that's freedom. Because I used to stress out all the time, like over stupid things, like a big math test. I would get super stressed out, I would be freaking out, and when I was younger I used to even cry about it because I didn't want to fail. But as I got older and went on through my high school years, I realized that it's really not worth getting stressed out about. If you don't pass the math test, then you either try it again or you have to take the course again, and that sucks a lot because you might have to stay an extra year of high school or elementary school or whatever, which is why the education system is so stupid, but that's not what we're talking about. You just have to take the hit and go along with it and try harder next time. But you can't stress out about it because then you're more guaranteed to fail because you're worried too much about failing and your brain is thinking about failing and not about passing the test. I don't know if that's how psychology works or not, but to me that's how it seems to work a lot of the time. Stresses of money and stuff, those are always very stressful, but once you start to realize that if you don't get the money, you don't get the money, and that's really, really, really crappy. But I mean, you're just gonna have to find some other way to deal with it. Just ride the wave, go with things. Once you get into this mentality, it's amazing how much easier life gets. How much happier you are all the time. When you realize you don't have to worry about anything because it's just gonna happen whether you want it to or not, and you just have to go with it, it becomes so much easier to deal with stuff. Now going back to physical and mental disabilities, the ability to move your arms and move your legs and think thoughts that other people simply don't have the ability to think, that's a huge freedom. And I think too many of us take that for granted. We take for granted the fact that we can walk down the street without getting a sore leg, or walk down the street without tumbling over, or the fact that we can walk down the street at all. The fact that we can go into a store and buy something without having to think too hard about how much money we're supposed to pay and how much a quarter is worth and stuff like that because we have a learning disability or something. I think we take that freedom and liberty way too much for granted, and that is exactly where my train of thought has chosen to stop, and it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere else, so let's move on, shall we? Hero of the Week! Our hero of the week this week is a Facebook user named Versluis. If you guys remember last week we talked about Charlie Sheen and how he's just been consistently in the news lately because he seems so crazy, and how perhaps he's doing that on purpose to get attention and get people to follow him to make a little bit more money now that he's at a television. And for the most part you guys agreed with me. Some of you called me stupid and thought I was just being over dramatic about it. But Eric raised the point that I don't think you can monetize 2 million Twitter followers as well as you can monetize 15 million TV viewers. And yeah, you're right. You cannot do that. But you can use those followers as a way to get into the box office whenever you decide to go back into television or movies or whatever. Not that it's gonna do a whole lot because movies need a lot more than 2 million people, but still, that it could help. So thank you, Versluis. You are our hero of the week this week. And now for today's shout out. Today's shout out goes out to a YouTube user named Spiffy Savannah. Spiffy Savannah was the 10th person to comment on my last video. Congratulations, Spiffy Savannah. Shout out to you. Remember, if you'd like a shout out on one of my videos, just be the 10th person to comment on this video and I'll be sure to give you a shout out in the next video. And if you'd really like to comment but don't have anything to say about anything else I've already talked about this video, here is a weekly Would You Rather. Would you rather be divided by 0 or be the square root of -1? If you would like to suggest a Would You Rather or random face for me to do, you can always comment that down below too. I know there's so much commenting to choose from. Which comment do I comment on? All of them! Yeah, all of them. That would be awesome. Anyway, that's pretty much everything I got to say for today and the rest of this week. If you want to check out any of my other videos, there's a button up here that you can click on and scroll through them and pick on a topic that interests you. But for now, I'm Isaac Oli, and I really need to brush my teeth, so I will talk to you guys next week. Peace in! Comment and subscribe, comment and subscribe, comment and subscribe, and maybe favorite too.